Squint your eyes and look closer. I'm not between you and your ambition. I am a poster girl with no poster.
Karin, now that you bought the Microbe Whisperer cards and guidebook, you get a complimentary Who's Your Microbe reading.
Oh my goodness, what is a Who's Your Microbe reading?
Okay, well, what I do usually is I give a 10-minute reading for $10, which you're getting free, for a person to determine what animal guide best represents the personality in this part of their life's journey. So I'd like you to mix the cards. Before I do my readings, I like to create sacred space. You can either do that by lighting a candle, or lighting incense to smudge the space. However, not all environments are friendly to incense, smoke, or to fire. In that case, I create sacred space using sound, the way I will do with this crystal bowl. I'm going to pick your microbe now, Karin. My hand feels warm over this one. The microbe for your core personality right now is Vibrio harvii. It's the Milky Seas microbe. It has that name because when it infects a certain kind of algae in the ocean, it creates a phenomenon that looks like milky seas from far above. That's because this microbe has the ability to bioluminesce.
So glowing?
Yes, it can glow. That's right.
That's awesome.
Okay, Vibrio harvii is a microbe that can bioluminesce, which means it can glow, right?
Goodness.
Yes. It's a close cousin to another kind of microbe that I have in the same deck called Vibrio fischeri. But unlike Vibrio fischeri, that's a nice symbiont and helps out its hosts, Vibrio harvii is a pathogen and sickens crustaceans and other small creatures in the sea that it infects.
I am 32 flavors and then some, and I'm beyond your peripheral vision. So you might want to turn your head, cause someday you are gonna get hungry.
Vibrio harvii teaches a few lessons. One of them is to be aware of a beautiful fake, which I told you has to do with its relationship to its cousin that is a nice, kind, benevolent symbiont that bioluminesces and protects its host fish from predators. But this one, Vibrio harvii, well, it actually makes fish and crustaceans sick with its ability to bioluminesce. Right now, microbiologists are trying to figure out how to take away the pathogenic part, the illness-inducing part, and keep the bioluminescence. It is a problem in the seafood industry, so the other message is to be aware of the food that you eat. Make sure your food isn't contaminated, and that speaks not just to the food you take for bodily nourishment, but also spiritually and emotionally. And then the other interesting thing that microbiologists are studying with Vibrio harvii is its ability to be for quorum sensing.
What is quorum sensing?
What is quorum sensing? Well, that is the ability for microbes to communicate with each other, and they have a way of figuring out through this chemical communication when their population has increased. And they do that in order to know what genes to turn on and turn off. For example, in this case, they wait until they build their population high enough to bioluminesce. Now, bioluminescence itself is a good thing. That's what its cousin Vibrio fischeri does, and it helps fish avoid predators. But the other thing it does with quorum sensing, it builds up enough of its population to tell it to turn on its pathogen genes. It's genes that make fish and crustaceans sick. So this quorum sensing has a purpose. It's a mass communication method that it uses to do both the bioluminescence and the pathogen side of its nature.
Wow.
So how does this speak to you in your life?
Yeah, so that definitely reminds me with the communication in mass amounts. We definitely have a lot of internet communication going on with social media. I specifically have been in situations before where myself or my family, have been subject to some online forums where they go in and they start talking about, spreading news, which is supposed to be a good thing, but too many people getting opinions and a place to put them, it can definitely be harmful.
Of course, I understand. I mean, spreading news and being informed about what's going on in the world is important. It helps us build our global community. But if you start spreading news that's malevolent or painful, especially after a tragedy, then it can have the opposite effect. It can be very harmful, very hurtful.
Definitely.
To the people that are surviving such a tragedy.
Yep. Definitely.
Well, then I'm glad that Vibrio Harvii came into your life. I'm hoping that you'll have a way to remind yourself of its lessons as you continue in this part of your life's journey. Would you be interested in having it in a bigger size, maybe?
Yeah.
Would you like some?
Definitely some artwork. I could definitely have it as, a reminder to keep the lessons, close by.
Right.
For sure.
Well, I can make posters that are this size. In fact, I have one for you here.
Oh, wow. Check that out.
Yes, I have 44, one for each card.
Wow.
And this is the Vibrio Harvii. That is your animal guide or microbial guide for this part of your journey. So you can have this and hang it up wherever it is that you do your quorum sensing, which I guess would be near your computer, right?
Thank you.
All right, you're welcome.
Get a good
And God help
All
me
right.
if you were a phoenix and you dare to rise up from the ash. 1,000 eyes will smolder with jealousy while you are just flying bare.